Okay, so this is Kyle Katz again. I am here interviewing my friend who had a Goldman Sachs summer analyst internship last summer. This is definitely a dream job that I've looked at and definitely want to intern at eventually. So I'm going to ask him a couple questions about Goldman Sachs and about the summer analyst program. So, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, how are you guys doing? My name is Nick O'Connor. I am a graduating senior here at Syracuse. Last summer, I did have a very fortunate opportunity to work at Goldman Sachs in their summer analyst internship. And I really feel like it was something that for students who are really trying to get into the business aspect of the world, Goldman Sachs is one of those places that gives you a really broad range of places to pursue your career. So that's one of the reasons I'm very happy that Kyle is reaching out to me to learn more about this opportunity.
Well, I just want to thank you for doing this interview with me and giving me a little background about how your summer went, the stuff you did, how the things you did at this great internship helped you out with everything. So I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions, just to see how this really helped you and how this benefits to your life and how this is gonna help you out throughout college and after college. So now I just want to start out and ask, what did you do to get into this program, get this internship, like. What did you have to do to just to make yourself eligible for the summer analyst internship?
So with Goldman Sachs, the internship application period is 1 year before the internship will start. So they encourage people to really give it time and thought in order to become a perfect candidate. What I did at my time at Syracuse, I was actually investment management at Goldman Sachs specifically. So while I was here, I was in the investment club at Syracuse.
Okay.
I had my own fake client, which was actually Shine Student Center. And there I would, just help manage their investments and how they're doing, just kind of really minimal. And that was one of the things that when I was interviewing Goldman Sachs, I'd appreciated. It's students going out on their own and making their own opportunities. And that's, something that I did. My dad is also works in investment management,
okay.
And by talking with him, I kind of learned that this is what I wanted to do. So I talked to some of the people that he works with at the Carlyle Group, and I was able to learn. So another thing that you should definitely take into consideration is going out and talking to people that you may know in this field or whatever field you're going to go into to talk and learn about what you want to do, because that helped me a lot when I was trying to get this internship.
Okay, so I was just kind of looking over Goldman Sachs is definitely a dream job I've always thought about. Even when I was little, just my cousin used to work for them, so I don't know, it was just something I've always looked up to look at, and I've definitely done my little research on it, and I am not in the Whitman School. I know what's your major?
Finance.
Yeah, finance. Okay, so that definitely helps a lot. But I'm not in the women's school. I'm in CRS. I think that connections are definitely a big thing. Maybe my cousin could help me out with an internship or something like that. But when I was reading over the overview and I was just looking over who can apply, kind of just it said it doesn't really matter about your major. It doesn't really matter what you're studying. It just kind of matters if you're disciplined or not, or you're actually dedicated and have passion for this actual job or this certain aspect that you're trying to study. So I just kind of want to ask you, I know you're a finance major, but is that true that when you apply, they don't really care about your major? They just care about how disciplined you are and the past achievements, academic achievements, or any interest in the financial markets or anything like that? Does that help?
It definitely helps, and it just so happens for me that I'm interested in finances and the stock market and investments and things like that, and that's why my major is finance. At Goldman Sachs, there's a training period before you enter any internship program, and it's very thorough, and it's so that we can give a Goldman Sachs education on how to go about this internship program and how to successfully manage each individual skill. We are more just interested in kids who like finances and wealth management, because you could have a finance major like I have and not have the passion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of the passion and will give you the skills that you need. But as long as you're a passionate student who has a demonstrated interest through experience, that's kind of what we look for. Moreover, I'm a finance student with this, and this classes taken.
I got you. Okay. All right. And so, how long is this program?
It's a 10-week period.
Okay.
There's a few training periods beforehand, and then we really send you off and running once we get going.
Okay. So yeah, let's get like more involved with like not even really what you did this summer, but like how this great internship that you were able to get. How this like last summer you working there is really gonna help you like through the business world and like when you get out of college.
So when I was in this program, like I said, I worked in investment management, more specifically in the client solutions department. So I made a lot of connections. For some of my clients, for example, I had a client over at Gatorade. I had a client at Nike. I was very involved in a bunch of different aspects of this company. So they really want to immerse you in like the business world. They don't want you to get stuck in a corner kind of and like narrow yourself down into one specialization. So they give you a wide range of opportunities that you go out, and in the client solution program that I was in, they also do this in other programs. It was just helpful for me to be in this program. I was able to meet other people who use services like Goldman Sachs, and those people have connections elsewhere. So maybe, when I'm graduated, I may not be working at Goldman Sachs, but I know of clients who can help me get a job somewhere else. So that's more of what Goldman Sachs likes to do. They like to, give you an opportunity to meet people, and that's really what helps me, at least in my job hunt now.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, like, yeah, the reason I really wanted to interview you is because, like, investment banking, like, investment management is, like, definitely something that I've always, like, thought about, or like something that I think I could like pursue as a job in my like future life. So yeah, I mean, like, can you like tell me just like a little bit about like like stuff that you would do for investment? Like understand you said like for investment management, like you made a lot of connections just throughout the summer, but like is there any like certain things that you did that maybe helped you more? Maybe if it was like Excel things, or like if it's just I mean I don't know, like there's certain different different examples of things that you could have done that maybe makes you stand out to than somebody else that's in the Whitman School, or even not even the Whitman School, anyone that's just passionate from Goldman Sachs, like when you go out and try to get a job after your senior year,
I think what was very helpful for me going through this was being able to learn Microsoft Excel was something that I used a lot specifically in private wealth management. And there I was able to, really sit down and work with people and show them that, like the spreadsheets I would create for them and everything. And that's something that's going to help you no matter where you go. I mean, Microsoft Excel today, that's something, in the business world we talk about a lot, and we really stress that our interns know that. So you don't need to be in Whitman to learn that. That's something you can learn on your own, taking Microsoft Office courses online. And that's a skill, that could help you outside of the Whitman School, something, that could get you up and going on your own.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's like definitely a big thing, because like, like my dad's an entrepreneur, and like he does a lot of finance. Like he's also does a lot of like college student housing, so like does a lot of stuff with real estate. So I've kind of learned a lot of financial background through him, not even like more through the school. And I feel like even taking like a couple classes here or there might help me, but I feel like an internship definitely helps you more. So I kind of want you to like just since you're a finance major, like give me like a little bit of background how like your internship this summer helped you so much more than like a finance 201 or any finance type of class could help you like throughout the real world.
No finance class puts you in an office.
That is true.
So when I got to Goldman Sachs, I had gone through investment club and my finance classes, and I was like, all right, I have a good idea of what I could, expect. Nothing you could ever learn will compare to like the hustle and the like effort put in a real office. It is constantly moving. Like you need to be on your toes. If you lean back for a second, you are toast. You are missing something important. That's something that you cannot learn in a classroom.
Yeah.
And without the Goldman Sachs program, that really prepared me because it was an absolute culture shock.
I feel like it's more like, like in a finance class, you're writing down things, you're learning things like, simple terms, but I feel like
it's more of how you apply them.
Yeah, and I feel like, because the Goldman Sachs program, I feel like it's more hands-on.
Yep.
So, like, the fact that it's more hands-on, gives you, like, the better opportunity and, like, the upper hand on other people that, like, maybe just had a small internship here or there.
Yep, that definitely is able to help. With the Goldman Sachs' name alone, as many people know, comes along with some benefits. It's like, even here, for example, Syracuse Newhouse carries a name. Whitman carries a reputation. Like Syracuse University itself.
Yeah.
So being in that Goldman Sachs environment helps because it carries weight with it. It was like something extra that you'll never be able to experience again unless you're like working at that specific place or somewhere like that. So being able to work there really gives you like a steady grasp on what you need to do going forward.
I understand. All right. And so wait, you worked in New York City, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, the last question I just kind of wanted to ask you about everything is just like, as I keep saying, I feel like Goldman Sachs gives you the upper hand, and like this is definitely my dream job, or like my dream internship, if I have to say, for next year. Like, I'm definitely going to seek to get this and try to reach out to my connections. But I just kind of want to like, I mean, I kind of understand, but I want you like to just give me like a more like deep understanding of like why Goldman Sachs like is so much better and gives you like the upper hand than like everybody else and like every other internship that, includes investment management or anything like that.
So when I had an internship before I worked at Goldman Sachs, and what I noticed, at least between the two places, was that the first place I worked at, I'm not going to say obviously where I worked. The first place I worked at, I did not experience the same kind of energy and drive and passion that Goldman Sachs had, and I think that that's why they get their name. They're like Goldman Sachs. We work so hard, and that's why we're regarded as the best. Some people say, and it's the hard work, it's the passion, it's the drive, it's the commitment, and I always love to tell students who are coming in, you can't learn those things in a classroom, like I said earlier. So it's all about how you can show your interest, your passion, and your drive. And if you can demonstrate those clearly, then I think you're going to be on a very nice track.
All right. Yeah. I mean, thank you for everything. I feel like this just gives me like a better understanding of like my dream job and like the job that I'm looking out for. Like, I feel like just from listening to you and talking to you in this interview, I feel like it's more that like this internship, gives you more, you do more hands-on things, to the fact where like you're working with leaders of Goldman Sachs, people that are millionaires, like people that like you wouldn't work with in other internships that are just teaching you things. I feel like this is more like they're putting you in real life situations that like you're gonna have to deal with in 10 to 15 years, but they're giving it to you when you're in college so you can learn it now, and then you can be an expert in 10 to 15 years. And that's why, after talking to you, this is definitely something that I really, really want to do next year. And I feel like this internship just like gives you the upper hand on anybody else, like no matter what. So, thank you for everything, Nick.
Absolutely.
And we'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.